Hey, hello, welcome to this video. We are going to talk about an important topic that is going to be the reported speech. But we are going to talk about one specific story that is about the history of the English language. Yep. How it could be created, how was created a lot of years ago. You have to know. So welcome to this story. We're going to know about warriors. That warriors were a group of people that were in a war, fighting with another people, another soldiers. Yes. It's important to know that the warriors belong to a community. So the communities were different group of people that represent one native land. One group of people that stay in a place, in a specific place. So in order to know about the reported speech, we have to know when somebody or someone told us different things, we retell or we said again to another person or to another group of people, we are using the reported speech, but we are going to know about it. Yes. For example, there are two ways to use the reported speech. The subject, said, and that. That's great. Or told, a reflexive pronoun like me, you, him, her, them, us. For example, there are two different aspects to know the direct speech and the reported speech. First is the direct speech because it's something that is imperative, that is direct. A person said directly to another person, or for us, or to us. For example, that person said to the other one, "Hey, you are an excellent team." That is in present, yes? Perfect. But if you want to use the reported speech, you have to use "he said that we were an excellent team." Notice that we are going to use in the past tense in all the reported speech. Or for example, "Hey, he is our teacher." She told me that he was our teacher. That you have to use the past tense. Perfect. There are different ways to know that aspects of reported speech change, but others not change. For example, if the direct speech is the imperative way, you use the present simple tense, you have to use in the reported speech, yes, a past simple. For example, he is my teacher. Hey, he told me that person was his teacher. Very good. And the present continuous in the direct speech, you have to use the reported speech with past continuous. If you are going to use in present perfect the direct speech, for example, "Hey, she has done the homework." She has done the homework. You have to use in past perfect. How's it? A person said, "Hey, she has done the homework." You have to use "she told me that she had done the homework." Yes. The same with this past simple and present perfect. Yep. But there are different ways to know about that they don't change. For example, if we are going to use the direct speech, if we're going to use the direct speech with past continuous, They no change in the reported speech. In the reported speech, we have to use the same past continuous. How is it? For example, hey, I am doing the homework. Hey, you told me that you were doing the homework. Yeah. Or in the past perfect tense, in the reported speech, we have to use the past perfect tense at the same moment. The same case with might, could, should, and mustn't. Great. Try to create different sentences by using those and those examples. Good. For example, here we have, hey, I always drink tea, John said. That is direct speech because it's imperative with the quotation marks. Look at them. Yes. That is in the indirect speech. But in the reported speech, hey, John said that he always drank tea. Notice that we have to change of the present simple or simple present to simple past or past simple. Yes? For example, we have another example. This in the present continuous. He said, I'm looking for my keys. He said that he was looking for his keys. Yeah. Okay, try to continue. Try to go with this. But for example, there are different ways to start our reported speech and our direct speech. For example, if the person said, hey, today I did the homework. That day, she told me that she was doing the homework. Yes? Direct speech. Now you have to go to the park. Then he told me that I had to go to the park. Yes, we're going to use in the direct speech. Tonight we changed it to that night. Last the before or the previous yesterday in direct speech. We changed it in reported speech with the day before, ago, before, last week, the week before, next year, the following year, tomorrow, the next day, or the following day. They both can be here or there, this or that, this to those. For example, we have in the direct speech here, up to the image, they are going to play with my toys. Yes? What is the reported speech? Hey, he told me that they were going to play with his toys. Look at this. With the two, it changed totally in infinitive way. The verb. For example, in that case, play is going to be in a phase 4 because it's with the two. You can say, hey, today they are going to play with my toys. That day, they were going to play with my toys. Oh, he told me that day they were going to play with his toys. Now they are going to play with my toys. We can change the subject. For example, now he is going to play with my toys. Hey, then you told me that he is going to play with your toys. Of course, we have to change the subject with the correct subject, and the reflexive pronoun with the reflexive pronouns. For example, in order to know about the history of the English language, we're going to know about, or we're going to use a main character, an important character. Is the Viking. The Viking is like him. Yeah, something with a weapon, an armor. Yes, a helmet. Perfect. Yes, it's important to know different words that are important for us. Vikings, the kind of people like him. Yep. a warrior or a group of warriors, a war like the World War II or World War One. Nation is a group of lands that represent one country, one state. Community, a kind of people, a group of people in order to represent one specific native land. A ship on the sea. A weapon. What is a weapon? For example, something like this. That sword is a weapon. And big is a weapon. Good. An armor. What is an armor? Very good. That is an armor. That is an armor. Yep. Like the different dress, the different like objects that the person used to protect to another kind of group or against another group of warriors, for example. They are going to use an armor. A shield. A shield is going to be like this. Something to protect himself or themselves in the case of them. A sword is going to be that weapon. Yes, that long weapon is the sword. I heard it's going to be a group. A group of what? If you are going to be in a big group, you are in a herd. Yep. That, for example, you have to use. The Viking told me that we suppose that we are going to be in a Viking, yes? So, in the 600 before Christ, Celts, the first languages that we know about are the Celtic ones, like Wales and Scots. So, you have to use. The Viking told me that the first languages that we know about were the Celtic ones, like Welsh and Scots. Look at this. Where in the reported speech. Or for example, we got to use in the Romans. In the Romans invited and introduced Latin. So you need to use. The Viking told me that the Romans, yes, had invited and introduced Latin. Very good. And Anglo-Saxons on the 450 after that, the Anglo-Saxons spoke the language, which over time turned it into English. So you have to use here. The Viking told me that the Anglo-Saxons had spoken the language, which over the time turned into English. Very good. Or for example, in the 800 after that, the Vikings came from Scandinavia and invaded Britain. For example, we have to use. The Viking told me that the Vikings had came from Scandinavia and invaded in Britain. Perfect. Or for example, we have to use in the 1066 after that, Normans from France invaded England and introduced an early version of French. So here you have to use. The Vikings said that the Normans from France had invaded England and introduced an early version of French. For example, we are going to use in the Middle English in the 1400 after that. The Middle English gradually took over again from the early French. We said, the Viking told me that the Middle English gradually had taken over again from the early French. With the printing press in the 1476 after that, with the introduction of the printing press, an interest in having a standard way of English came. For example, in this case, we have to use the Viking said that with the introduction of the printing press, an interest in having a standard way of English had come. Very good. The English Bible, the New Testament of the Bible, was translated into English. So, the Viking said that in 1525 after death, the New Testament of the Bible, yeah, perfect, had been translated into English. Perfect. So we're going to use in the century that inviting the words from Latin and Greek made its way into the English language. So we are going to use here. The Viking said that words from Latin and Greek had made its way into English language. Also, here in Shakespeare in the 16th century, he invented many words which are still used today. Okay, so here you are going to use. The Viking said that Shakespeare had invented many words which are still in use today. Lastly, in the time, the English that you speak today is influenced by the immigration and historical happenings. For example, the British Empire. So the Viking said that the English that you speak today was influenced by the immigration and historical happenings. For example, the British Empire. And lastly, in the technology as in the future, new technology is influencing English. And who knows where it will end? So, the Viking tried to ask that new technology was influencing English. And who knows where it will end? Perfect, guys. So, in order to introduce this and to connect with this, we have to use all the words, all the concepts, all the actions in order to know how to use the reported speech. Remember that we have those kind of words in order to introduce the direct speech and in order to connect with the reported speech. Good? Remember this. We have to use in the direct speech with a specific tense. In the reported speech, we are going to use something backwards. Something that we have to know in the a little one step in past, depending on the tense used in the direct speech. Okay, guys? Thank you for this. Thank you for paying attention here. Remember this. Recognize that our English is not only for a few years ago. It was invented, or it was created, it was fascinated a lot of years ago. Good, guys. Welcome to this story, because this story has never ended. It's continue, and you have to continue. Bye, guys.